Welcome to this tutorial on getting started with KeyHelp. Here you will learn, for example, how to create a user in KeyHelp and add a domain, but also how to set up an email account and upload files. We start directly after the installation of KeyHelp. There you were told in which file you can find your login data. After successfully logging in, you are now in the administration area of KeyHelp. Here you can manage users and make all necessary configurations. We will now create a first user. To do this, we go to the item User Administration on the left. There we now click on Add Client. Here you can make all settings according to your wishes and also set resources and permissions for the user. For the simplicity of it, we now take the account template Unlimited here, whereby all points are also set to unlimited under the item Resources and Permissions. We now click on Save and see from this symbol here that the user is created. Such actions are always carried out by KeyHelp at the full minute, which is now the case. And so the user has been successfully created. As administrator, we now also create a domain for our new user. The user could also do this himself if he has been given the permissions to do so in the user administration. To do this, we click on Domains and then on Add Domain. Now an owner must be assigned to the domain. We will of course take our newly created tutorial user. Here you can now make all the settings for it according to your wishes. It is important that you type in a domain at complete domain name that really resolves on your server. The settings for this must be made with your domain provider. We now set up an email address for our user. To do this, we have to go to his user area. We can get there by clicking directly on the owner of the domain or generally under the item User Administration. Then either click on the name or on the arrow on the back. There we go now to the item Email Addresses and click on Add Email Account. Here at the back in the drop-down menu, we can choose between the domains that are assigned to the user. Otherwise, you can again make all the desired settings here and then click on Save. Now you can log into the webmailer directly by clicking on this icon. Of course, you use the password you have just set. Under Connection Data, you will also find all the information you need to set up your desired mail client. You can upload files using either an FTP program or the KeyHelp File Manager, for example. If you want to use an FTP program, you can first create an FTP user. You will find the item FTP Users under Resources. Here we go to Add FTP User and again enter all our desired settings. We click on Save and see our created FTP user in this overview. You can now log in with these user data you have just set, but also with your main FTP account using your KeyHelp login data. Here as well, you will find all the necessary data to set up your FTP program under Connection Data. As an example, we have now uploaded the data of a website via the FTP program, which we can now also see in the File Manager. Now we have to make sure that we have selected the correct directory in the domain settings, so that our website is really accessible under the desired domain. In our case, this is not true because we have selected the directory www as a default setting. We now change this for our main domain as well as for our subdomain to www.tutorialwebsite, and so it now works. The last step in this tutorial is to secure our website with an SSL certificate. To do this, we go back to Domains and click on the pencil icon. Then we switch up here to Security. Here you can either select the free Let's Encrypt certificate or upload your own. I'll now take the Let's Encrypt certificate here, and so that this certificate is also applied to our subdomain, we click on Yes here. And so you have now gained an insight into the first steps of KeyHelp. Thank you for your interest in this tutorial.